You're listening to WJSS Sleep Seeker Radio. It's time for the Midnight Transmission with your host, John.
Good evening, Sleep Seekers. Or good morning, depending on where you are on this wide and restless world. You found your way to WJSS Sleep Seeker Radio, broadcasting from the quiet hours between one day and the next. I'm your host, John, and this is the Midnight Transmission. To all my sleep seekers out there, whether you're driving alone on a dark stretch of highway, staring at the ceiling while the rest of the house dreams, or tuned in with one ear as you drift, welcome. You're among friends tonight. This is the hour when the world exhales, when the phones stop ringing, the traffic thins out, and the mask we wear all day starts to slip. Some of you write to say that this program helps you sleep. Others say it does the opposite, that it keeps you awake, listening for sounds you never heard before. I think both can be true, because sleep isn't just rest, it's a crossing. A shallow one most nights, but a crossing all the same. And sometimes, things cross back. We're live, the lines are open, and as always, we're here to talk about the things that slip through the cracks of the ordinary world. The unexplained, the uncanny, the moments that don't quite sit right, no matter how many years pass. But first, before we step into the dark, let's take care of a word from one of our sponsors. Sleep Seekers, let me ask you something. When you finally do fall asleep, do you stay asleep? If you're like a lot of us, the answer is no. You drift off, only to wake up at 3:17 in the morning with your mind racing, half-remembered dreams, stray thoughts, maybe the sense that something just passed through the room. That's where Somnirel night drops come in. Somnirel is a non-habit-forming sleep supplement developed by neurochemists and herbalists working together. People who understand both the science of rest and the ancient traditions of deep, restorative sleep. Just a few drops under the tongue before bed, and Somnirel helps quiet the mind without knocking you out cold. No grogginess, no chemical hangover, just smoother descent, and longer stays in that sweet, quiet dark. Listeners of WJSS can visit somnirel.com and use the code SEEKER at checkout for 15% off your first bottle. Somnirel. Don't fight the night. Sink into it. Somnirel is not a real product and is completely fictitious. Do not try to seek out Somnirel. Side effects of Somnirel include heart attack, stroke, high blood pressure, heart failure from body swelling, kidney problems including kidney failure, bleeding and ulcers in the stomach and intestine, low red blood cells, life-threatening skin reactions, life-threatening allergic reactions, liver problems including liver failure, asthma attacks in people who have asthma. Other side effects include stomach pain, constipation, diarrhea, gas, heartburn, nausea, vomiting, dizziness. Again, Somnirel is not a real product and should not be consulted with medicinal purposes. Alright, we're back. Sleep Seekers. Tonight I want to focus on first encounters. Not necessarily with little green men or glowing beings, though we won't turn those away. But the first time you realize the world might be bigger, stranger, and far less stable than you were taught. That moment when the door cracked open. Let's take a quick station bumper and then we'll go to the phones.
WJSS. If you're hearing this, you're not asleep yet.
All right, line 1, you're on WJSS. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, John. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Glad you're with us. What's your name?
You can call me Mark.
All right, Mark, where are you calling from tonight?
northern Nevada, out near Ely.
Wide country out there. Tell us what happened, Mark.
This was about 12 years ago. I was working night maintenance at a copper mine. Graveyard shift. You get used to being alone, you know? Anyway, there's this service road that runs past an old worker camp, abandoned since the 70s. There's trailers, sheds, rusted equipment. I had to check a pump station out there around 2 a.m. And I shut off the truck, and as soon as the engine died, I heard whistling.
Human sounding?
Well, that's the thing. It almost was. Like someone trying to remember how a tune goes.
You have my attention already.
Yeah, it was coming from the trailers. It was moving. One moment it's to my left, and then behind me, and then right up close, but I couldn't see anyone. I called out, figured maybe some idiot was trespassing, and the whistling stopped. And then I heard footsteps, slow, deliberate, the gravel crunching around me.
Did you see anything at all?
It was a shape, tall, too tall. It was standing between two trailers where there shouldn't have been room. And then it whistled again. The same tune. But this time it sounded like it was right next to my ear.
That close, huh?
Yeah. I ran. I don't even remember locking the pump station. I just got in the truck and drove. But here's the part I can't explain, John.
Go on.
The next night, I caught myself whistling that same tune. Now, I don't whistle. I never have. And sometimes, when it's quiet, even still to this day, I hear someone finish it for me.
Oof, Mark, thank you for sharing that. And sleep seekers, let me say this. Stories like that come in from the desert regions more than you might expect. The land remembers things. Mark, have you ever gone back out there?
No, and I won't.
Probably wise. Stay safe out there, my friend.
Thanks, John.
Oof, all right, let's all take a breath. If you're listening in the dark right now, and that story stirred something, maybe a memory, maybe a chill, you're not alone. That's why we're here. Let's move on. If you're just joining us, you're tuned in to WJSS Sleep Seeker Radio. Stay right where you are. The night's not done with us yet. Line 3, you are on the air.
Hi, you can call me Elena.
Welcome, Elena. Where are you calling us from?
Huntington, New York.
Strong Island in the building. What's your experience?
This happened when I was a kid, 8 or 9. My parents worked late, so my grandmother watched me after school. She lived with us. Real sweet lady. One afternoon I was in my room, coloring. I heard my grandma call my name from the kitchen. Same voice, same accent, same everything.
And you went to her?
No, that's the thing. She never yelled from another room. She always came to the doorway. So I stayed put and said, "What is it?" She answered. But the tone was wrong, like she was annoyed, almost mocking.
Did you see her?
No, I stayed on my bed. Then she called again, louder, angry this time. I started crying. Then my real grandmother came down the hall from the bathroom and asked who I was talking to.
And the voice?
Stopped. Instantly. That night my grandmother burned sage. Wouldn't tell me why. Years later, before she died, I asked her about it. She said, "Something learned my voice once. It never did again."
That's powerful, Elena. Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
Hey, that's my line. Thank you for the call, Lena. Sleep seekers, voices are one of the most common threads in experiences like these. If you hear your name called when no one's there, don't answer right away, or at all. Heck, there's that famous old Appalachian saying going around the internet. If you're walking in the woods, especially at night, and you hear someone call your name, no you didn't. Let's keep going. Line 6, you're up.
John, it's good to finally talk to you.
Good to have you. What's your name?
Call me Ray.
Hello, Ray. Where are you calling from?
I'm in Bloomington, Indiana.
All right, Ray. What happened?
I'm a ham radio operator. Have been since the 80s. Back in 2003, I noticed something strange. Every night at exactly 1:11 a.m., my radio would fill with static. Not normal interference, patterned, rhythmic.
Almost intentional?
Exactly. One night I decided to record it. Ran it through software. It wasn't static, John. It was voices.
Voices saying what?
Numbers, names, coordinates that didn't exist. And once, just once, my own call sign.
Did you respond?
No. And after that night, it stopped. But every so often, my radio turns itself on at 1:11.
Ray, that's unsettling. And you're not the first to report something like that. Thank you for trusting us with it.
Thank you.
Another highly mysterious set of circumstances from that last call. However, sleep seekers, with radio wave signals, maybe I'm biased because of what I do, but with radio wave signals, there could be so many other reasons for that strange static noise that we shouldn't immediately chalk it up to the supernatural. Heck, our friend Ray might have tuned into the infamous Russian broadcast UVB-76. For those listeners unfamiliar, it is a shortwave radio broadcast in Russia that normally broadcasts various beeps and bloops, but occasionally these noises get interrupted by a human voice reciting unknown strings of letters and numbers. No one knows what they mean, and no other instruction is given. Now, on the surface, this may sound nefarious, but the vast majority of skeptics think these are military transmissions, and the strings of letters and numbers may be call signs or encrypted orders. Point being is, don't assign a supernatural cause to a very natural system. Occam's razor and all that, right? But I digress. Let's take a little break.
It's late. You could be anywhere right now. And somehow, you're here. This is WJSS.
You're listening to WJSS Sleep Seeker Radio, broadcasting into the quiet spaces most people try not to notice. If you've got a story, the lines are open. If not, just listen. Let's go back to the phones here. Line 8, you're on WJSS. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Thank you, John. You can call me Marianne, and I'm calling from Estanica, New Mexico.
Welcome, Marianne, welcome. What would you like to share with the sleep seekers tonight?
Yes, I worked as a hospice nurse for almost 30 years. I've been around death more times than I can count. I'm not afraid of it. But this incident, it was different. About 10 years ago, I was assigned to an old Victorian house. Beautiful, but wrong in that way some old places can be, you know? Definitely like seen better days. Every night, I sat with my patient in the back bedroom, and every night around 2 a.m., the room would change.
Change how?
It felt like the walls were closing in, like the room was listening or paying attention. Not watching me, but watching him, my patient. One night he opened his eyes. He hadn't opened his eyes in days, and he said, "It's been waiting for me since the house was new." And I asked him what he meant. He just smiled, and that scared me more than anything else. He said, "The room remembers everyone who's ever left it." And then he passed away a few minutes later.
Did the feeling stop after that?
No, it was there, but it kind of, I guess, lifted. Like something was satisfied, like payment received. I quit hospice work not long after.
Marianne, thank you for the call, and thank you for the work you did. I always hold people in the medical field in the highest regard for what you all have to go through.
Thank you for giving me a place to say this out loud finally.
All the best, dear. Sleep Seekers, we're coming up on the bottom of the hour, so let me leave you with this little tidbit. Tonight's stories all share a theme: recognition without understanding. Something that knows us, but shouldn't. Something that doesn't belong here, yet keeps coming back. Perhaps it finds us fascinating in some way. As you drift toward sleep, remember, you don't have the answers. You just have to keep listening. As always, my name is John, and this is WJSS Sleep Seeker Radio. Keep your eyes closed, keep your mind open, and if something whispers your name tonight, maybe let it wonder. We're going to have a block of music to play us off. Good night to you all. Be safe, be kind, and pleasant dreams.